This moment marks the end of the agony of a phantom government, a government that was a government in name only. In 8 months, ministers who were often invisible or transparent managed to produce only 5 legislative texts, 3 of which concern Mayotte, due to the dramatic Shido episode. Today, it is not the political fate of a man that is at stake, for he knows that the demands of political struggle obviously go beyond individuals. That is the honor of politics, and sometimes it's noble servitude to accept this. That is why I am surprised that Mr. Bayrou could, even for a moment, believe that I might tie my decision to vote confidence or not to my personal interest. This is to misunderstand the National Rally and to ignore the intensity of our exclusive commitment to serving France. This moment marks the end of the agony of a phantom government, a government that was a government in name only. In 8 months, ministers who were often invisible or transparent managed to produce only 5 legislative texts, 3 of which concern Mayotte, due to the dramatic Shido episode. Obviously, the country is not being governed. Is it even being administered at all? We are witnessing the collapse of a system that believes it can gain a new political virginity from the scripted acknowledgement of its failures. Must we operate under some kind of magical thinking to believe that the sort of American evangelist born-again experience would grant us heavenly forgiveness and divine democratic anointing, that legitimacy which the people, so clearly aware of failure, no longer recognize in failed leaders? Leaders of both the political right and the political left, you are indeed guilty.
The greatest risk was not to take any, to let things go on without anything changing, to do politics as usual, to drag things out without making the necessary decisions until the point of no return is reached and we find ourselves at the edge of the cliff. Because what we are dealing with today is not a political issue. It is a historical issue. Political issues are those that concern parties, rivalries between them, and matters of power. Historical issues are those that concern peoples and nations. We all know that our country, beyond the decisive direction that will be determined today, is facing a vast array of questions that, in the coming years, will require profound changes. And I want, in just a few minutes, in 5 minutes, to mention to you the most serious of these issues. Since the year 2000, we have become a country that produces less than others, less than our neighbors. Our production lagged behind our neighbors. The closest ones, whether German or Belgian, measured by GDP per capita, our lag is 15%. And compared to our Dutch neighbors, it is over 30%. And this despite the efforts made in recent years regarding business creation, employment and investment. Your support, the minimal agreement without which I could not continue my mission, I am asking the National Assembly for it on a single but decisive point, the assessment of the country's situation. France has not had a balanced budget for 51 years. For 51 years, every year, expenses have increased, deficits have repeated, and debts have accumulated. Every year we spend more than our annual resources, and often much more. Of course, this is justified when we have to get through crises. The subprime crisis, the global financial crisis under Nicolas Sarkozy, and the incredible series of misfortunes since 2020. COVID, the war in Ukraine, the energy crisis, inflation, and all kinds of threats. But we spend our time, but we never ever go back. It has become a reflex. My conviction is that deep down, at the point we've reached, there are only 2 paths left. There is one path on which, all over the planet, the world is tipping. The path that considers that the destiny of peoples is to obey. And that in order to establish this authoritarian logic against the rights of peoples, the rights of man and citizen, anything goes, that the ends justify the means, including the use of all conflicts, all disagreements, all slanders, that must be stirred up to set things ablaze. And you can easily see from the distant east, even the far east, to that west we thought was close, the American West, how much this bulldozer approach to politics, the law of the strongest, the logic of brute force, seems to be imposed, cheered by some and met with discouragement by others. And we are here to revive the other project, the very project of democracy, which considers it fairer, more interesting, and more fruitful to respect the citizen, even when they are in the minority, and to regard them as a partner and co-responsible for their own destiny.